It's beginning to feel a lot like football.
Oh yeah.
Mhm.
Oh yeah. Going a little what's his name? Ben Crosby?
I think
Little
so.
I like it.
Ben.
It's beginning to feel a lot like football. All right, guys. Answers
Ooh,
by guess. Woo! We're here, guess. We
hey,
are here.
it's there.
Live and in charge.
It's there.
I'm going to really quick post this and share it. Let me go and do that. Bear with me one sec. But as you guys know, always remember to like us Facebook, YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, and
Yeah.
Patreon, of course. All right. Guess, you know what? While I'm trying to share this, let's get into opening thoughts here.
Yeah. So season 6, answers by guess, week 1. Um, we got to remember something, right? Typically, for whatever reason, in this show, and we'll get to that in a minute, our format's going to be a little different. But typically, for whatever reason, we do very well week 1 with our calls. But that's not how it's supposed to go. Week 1 is a week to learn, but most importantly, when you react, we cannot overreact. Every single one of you, Rob, myself, you're going to have guys that you drafted with high hopes that are going to poop. They're not going to do well. And you're going to be like, what the heck? And you're probably going to take them out of your lineup. And I'm going to come on the week 2 show with the halftime adjustments, which we'll talk about in a minute. And you stay the course. You put them in. It's the ebbs and flows. It's what we have talked about for 6 years. It's going to happen. You put 8, 9 guys out there, 2 or 3 of them are going to not do well. And vice versa, you can't overreact positively because that becomes a negative. If your team blows up or if somebody blows up on the bench, you can't automatically think, they're going to go in. It's matchups. You've got to play it. You got to stick with us. You got to go week to week. Make sure that your preparation is not lost. And we talk about this every year. We know what's going to happen. People are going to come on the show after week 1. What the heck, man? I thought for sure Alvin Kamara was going to do good. He didn't do anything. Mark Ingram scored all the touchdowns. Should I bench Kamara for Ronald Jones? No. You're going to play Kamara, especially if it's a good matchup. So let's just remember these things as we move forward and get into the questions tonight. You're going to start asking questions about week 1. And when we get into the new format and we talk about the players for week 1, it's not all season. And if things don't work out after week 1, you react, but you don't overreact. It's key.
I like your thinking there, man. Yeah, it's definitely something that I've lived by, and you've told me multiple times, especially when I'm on week 1 and I'm texting you like, "Why the hell is this player not doing this? What is going on with the offense? Why is it not happening?" And so on and so forth. I'm pretty sure you sent me the song "Relax, Don't Do It, Anybody Gonna Do It." So I definitely appreciate the insight there, and you're 100% correct. Do you want to go into the game first? Do you want to go into our new and improved format that we have mentioned previously?
Let's get the format out of the way, and then I think maybe since these people asked questions previous in the week, we'll bang these ones out real quick, and then we'll get into the game, and then we'll do the other questions after. Is that
Perfect.
okay? Because I feel like they've been waiting. Let's get them out. But the format, we discussed it,
Yep.
right?
New and improved,
Um,
baby.
yeah. So this is a special. This is a opening night, Thursday opening night, Tuesday special for you all to come in and get some, last minute prep questions, anything you might have going on with your team for the season, as well as week 1. But then if you've watched the first 2 videos, We are no longer doing game by game analysis on Sunday mornings or on our final show of the week, because sometimes we have to do it on Saturday nights. All of that's going to be pre-recorded. Rob and I are going to get together. We're going to pre-record it. It's going to be posted. Now, anybody that's been with us for the 5 seasons prior, all the goodness, and I mean, the one that pops to mind because it's the freshest, and it wasn't the only one, but it pops to mind. I mean, our guesstimators, for one, they're going to be in the recorded shows. So if you want to know our weekly guesstimator, you're going to have to watch the recorded shows. Khalil Herbert last year, when I told you to scoop Khalil Herbert, and he went off for 2-3 weeks in a row and saved a lot of seasons and catapulted a lot of people towards champion. That's in the games. That's in the game discussion. Nobody brought up Khalil Herbert. Nobody asked a question, what about Khalil Herbert? I told you Khalil Herbert's name. I told you he was somebody you wanted to go get in the game discussion. So that's all going to be recorded, and it's going to be posted to the group on Facebook. I don't know. Rob's got a busy schedule. I've got a kind of busy schedule, and he's the mastermind behind the videography, so to speak. Some of it, tidbits might get pulled out if he's got a minute on the toilet or something and he wants to throw it on TikTok. Maybe. But Facebook is where we started. Facebook is where we're staying. It's where pretty much all of you are coming to us from. And I do see somebody with YouTube questions. Is that correct?
That's us posting. We post up double on Facebook and YouTube.
All right. I'm old. And so on Facebook, on the group page, you will be able to watch the videos. They'll be there Saturday night, Saturday during the day, because we're going to record them, I think, Friday.
Yep.
So you can watch them all. And then based on what Rob and I say, you come to us Sunday morning with any additional questions. Sunday is going to be just questions. And then after the Sunday morning Q&As, that show will probably be an hour long. We're going to try for like 11 a.m. Eastern. It all depends on when my wife comes home from church and all that, and whenever Rob's free with his kids playing sports and whatnot. But we're going to try for 11. That will be done around noon, and it leaves an hour in between game time. But you got to be on the show because we're not doing PMs anymore. If you want to send us a PM and have us answer a question via PM, you got to be a subscriber through Patreon. It's the only way that we're going to do it. It's the only way it's feasible for us. There's just far too many PMs coming in, and we're missing some, and we're not getting stuff. But what you can do is post to the group page. And then if we don't see it, maybe somebody else sees it. And listen, there's been people that have been with us since the beginning, or at least year 2 or 3. I mean, I don't know if anybody knows him anymore because he doesn't show up, and there's a reason he doesn't show up. Hendrick, he was like, our number one fan. He was in everything, in every show, watching everything, learning. He doesn't come around anymore. It's not because he doesn't like us, because he doesn't need us. And he's killing it in his leagues. So there are people in our group who can help you just as well as us. So if you post something to the group page, it's more feasible for it to be answered than PMing us anyways, especially when I have 15 PMs coming in and I'm trying to set my line up at 12:45, 15 minutes before kickoff. But you can get the PMs, you just got to subscribe through Patreon. So Q&A show is that's where you want to come in and ask your questions. So that's vital for you to come in for the hour. At least 2 minutes. Come in, ask your question, like, comment, because you never know when we're going to give away another free t-shirt. Did you check my digs here?
Oh, yeah.
My digs here.
Hey, stop showing off your chest, man. I like it. I like it a lot.
And so that's that. And then, because Rob's schedule is so busy, and that's fine, we're going to throw another curveball at you. Our Tuesday or our Wednesday show will be answers with guests. This will be just me. I mean, that makes it a little weird. We're going to call it halftime adjustments because we're corny. But it makes sense because we're halfway through the week, halfway in between weeks, and we're going to adjust. We're going to react, We're not going to overreact. And that's where that will happen. Just like this show tonight.
And I'll try, guys, to try to get onto those halftime adjustments. Just a lot going on in life and a lot of working CPA stuff and fun times.
You reminded me. Ha ha ha. Rob's going to teach me how to be on the left side where he is. And I'm going to have some special guests. It might be you if it wants to be you. Some friends. I'm going to have them come on. Might not be the first week, but that's what I'm going to push for. Just get somebody on a couple minutes, talk some yip yap, and throw them off and get somebody else on there. Because you don't want to just look at me and listen to me. Sometimes I get a little monotone. Hey.
What are you saying over there? Hey.
So keep it fresh. Maybe Leanne will come on or Alan. I'm sure Alan will be down. He's into it this year, and I'm loving it. Your participation is beautiful.
Yeah, man. And like I said, I'll come on every so often when I have the time. Just, again, busy schedule. But, yeah, I'm looking forward to I'll probably be catching up on some of my stuff, too, because as you guys know, not only am I here with guests, but I ask guests a lot of questions as well. And we kind of throw ideas back and forth at each other on who we start, who to sit. Am I crazy for thinking of picking up this guy and so on and so forth? So I'm an avid fan as well.
All right.
Let's go into the questions. Like you said, some of these older ones that were from the page. What's up, Lee? How are you? As always, guys, remember to like, share, comment. The more we get to be able to be out there, the better things are going to be. The more information we'll be able to put out there, as well as there's more people to talk to you guys to be able to give you difference of opinions, not only ours. Right. Don't get me wrong. I like ours the best. But, again, we can try to make it work from that perspective. All right. What's up there, Alan? All right. Keith with the first question here. Devin Singletary or Raheem Mostert, week 1?
This is tough. I'm probably going to go Singletary, and the reason is because he is the RB1 on the team, without a doubt. He's got 2 other people to share with. Mostert is the RB2 on the team. He has 3 other people to share with. They both are playing against pretty decent defenses. You might argue that the Rams are a better defense than the Patriots because that's who the Dolphins are playing. And it could be true, but I think that we're going to see some points in a couple nights, Thursday night. I think they'll get after Allen a little bit, that he'll need to dump off some. Singletary can catch the ball. He had a great end of the season last year. Fingers crossed, knock on wood, he's not made of glass. Mostert is. So I'm going to go with Singletary, Keith, and I hope you're watching.
I'm going to agree with him. I think Singletary is a better option here.
And then you get a little action on Thursday. Makes the game a little more interesting.
All right. Alan snuck one in between my questions here. Thoughts on Irv Smith? Excellent question.
Always been a big Irv Smith fan. I know Rob likes him as well. Last year was supposed to be his breakout. Meniscus, I think it was, and then he injured his thumb over the summer. He's back from that. You know what? I really like Amir Smith-Marset. They got rid of him. Where did he end up going?
Chicago
Bears. And I think that's going to be a good fit for him. But Irv Smith becomes the number 2. I'm sorry, it's not Adam Thielen anymore. Dude's 32, going on 33 pretty soon, I believe. He's fallen off a little bit last year. He's a name. It's Jefferson, and I think Irv Smith's going to be the number 2 option. They're going to use Kene Nwangwu.
Sorry, one more time.
Kene Nwangwu. They're going to use him. And then they got Osborne there. And, you know, he came on a little bit last year. So I like Irv Smith, and he's going undrafted all over the place. He's, you know, there was a sweet spot of tight ends. If I didn't hit one of the top 3, and my top 3 was pretty much, and I never really wanted the second one, but it was Kelsey, and I never really wanted him either. Andrews and Pitts for me. People might put Waller, Kittle in there, but it was Pitts. If I didn't get one of them, I waited till Cole Kmet, because I love Cole Kmet. I think that he's the straight up number 2 option. You know, once Fields started going a little bit last year and throughout the preseason, he's been peppering Kmet. Kmet's in the 3rd year now. That's a sweet spot for a tight end. He's getting there. Cole Kmet was a huge pick for me. I waited, and I knew I'd take Kmet, And then Brevin Jordan, who I've talked about since our first preseason show. But right in the middle was Irv Smith. So I would take Kmet, and I was going to take Irv Smith. And a lot of times people would take him, or I would just like, you know what, screw it. I'm going to take Brevin Jordan. But those were the three that I knew towards the end of the draft, if I didn't get Pitts pretty much, that I was going after, or Kelsey.
I'm going to agree with you with Irv Smith. I think the offense is going to definitely be a lot more potent. They're talking about they're going to be throwing the ball all over the place, which kind of makes me a little worried more for a Dalvin Cook situation, even a Madison situation. Madison may actually get a little bit more love because of being a third down back, but they're talking about a high potency offense. They're going to be chucking the ball all over the place. So Irv Smith is definitely going to see some targets. I have him either on my bench or as my starting tight end in some leagues. All right, Derek, with a big one here. All right, week 1, I need 2 running backs, 2 wide receivers, 2 flex. He's currently starting Diggs and Chase, Javonta and Mitchell, Judy and Mooney. His other options are Akers, James Cook, Randall Moore, Burks, Tolbert, Wandale, and David Bell. Am I set up with the best lineup, or the best I can be? Was considering Rondale over Mooney.
No. Keep it as is.
I agree with that. I would keep it as is. Mooney, I think, is underrated, man. Like you were just talking about Cole Kmet, he was doing the same thing with Mooney last year.
Yeah. No, listen, you got to play who you got in there. The only people that I love the Rondale. A little bit of hype growing inside of my gut. Trust me, it's there. But I would put Tolbert and Wandale ahead of Rondale at this point. But you have the right team in. Just keep it as it is. And you react. You join the halftime adjustment show a week from tonight, and we see what happens.
All right. Antonio, good season, dear friends. What's up there, Antonio? Bills at Los Angeles or KC at Arizona? Or should he be thinking of another option for a defensive standpoint?
KC got hot towards the end of the year last year. After that Green Bay game, they really started to turn it on. Both teams on the road. Kyler Murray. You know, is Marquise Brown going to catch the ball? I'd probably just go with the Bills, even though I think some points are going to be scored. I'd probably go with the Bills, but I would flip a coin. It's that close. But just the Bills just have the moxie about them at this point, and I'd probably go with them.
I'm kind of thinking of another option. I mean, I don't want you dropping anybody from who you just drafted. The Dolphins may be a good choice this week too, just because I know they're playing against the Patriots. They're not talking high on Mac Jones. Their offense seems to be not their strong point. It's their defense that's going to be kind of helping them out. Dolphins tend to play the Patriots very, very well. Dolphins are home. They have a lot on their back, knowing that this could be a big season for them. And could the Patriots be one of the last teams in the East now for them, or for the AFC East? And that's just kind of throwing it out there. I'm actually thinking about streaming the Dolphins this week for myself. So if you don't feel comfortable with going one of those two, but if you are planning on going, Bills would be the option. Get some Thursday action, and there's going to be a lot of throwing, so you would hope that there's going to be mistakes.
I think this game, the over-under is like 50, 51. And I think there's going to be 49 points. I think it's going to be 26-23 Bills. So I don't think that the Rams are going to score a ton on them. And Arizona's just, are they going to be Arizona from the first 4 weeks? Or, from before Green Bay beat them, AJ Green dropped the ball? Or are they going to be the Arizona afterwards? So that's the thing. And I got to think they're going to be a little bit closer to where they were in the beginning of the year last year.
All right. Antonio with another one here. Dallas versus Tampa Bay, or another option.
I don't mind Dallas versus Tampa Bay. At home, the fans are going to be going nuts. The team's going to be pumped. It's Brady coming into their house. Listen, Dallas is, they're a laughing stock because, Dallas fans, they celebrate the Dallas championships of the early 90s like it was last year. and every year is their year. But every year they're putting forward a good enough product. They're just not good enough. And I think that this opening, Sunday night game, they're going to be ready for this, and they're going to be like, okay, we're going to show people that we can get it done. And I think on a Tuesday night before week 1, Dallas is going to win this game. I think they're going to get to Brady, and I think they're going to get a couple sacks, and they're going to make him get hurried, and he's going to throw a couple picks. I feel it happening here without Godwin, right? Because
potential of him playing, but I don't think he would go week 1.
Even if he does,
you're getting a shell of him.
Yeah. And I just think Dallas defense is going to put it to him in this game. So I like Dallas a lot as a defense, a sneaky one this week that nobody's going to see coming.
It's the Sunday night football game too. I mean, I think that plays, like you're saying, a major role into it.
Exactly.
So I would actually probably go with Dallas in this situation. The way you get to Tom Brady is you hit him. Once you start hitting him, then he changes his whole course of action.
And they have the defensive players to do it. Parsons, right? And this, you got to imagine Parsons is looking forward to this one, right? After what he came up, and then last season, now he's playing against the greatest quarterback in history. Opening night. If it was a 1:00 game, I wouldn't feel as confident. 4:00 game, not as confident. But because it's Sunday night and they've got all day, and the fans are going to be rowdy, this place is going to be rocking. They're going to get to Brady. I feel it. I think those 13 days or whatever Brady took off to deal with his 43-year-old, 45-year-old problems, more power to him. I'm not hating on him. I think that's going to get, you say, he's been playing the league 20-something years. I think it's going to get to him just a little. He's going to get to him just enough, a smidge. And that's all Dallas needs, the defense.
Tom Brady doesn't look healthy to me, man. I don't know if you've seen in the press conference, his face looks very thin. He looks like he's out of sorts. Even the way he was answering to the media, like you were just saying, 45-year-old self, you got to take care of stuff. That's not the type of Brady, that mentality that you're used to going into a season. So, All right, let's go to the next one here. Terrence with the question, Jalen Hurts or Dak Prescott? Who are you going with in a standard league?
I want to say Hurts. I really do. But I think if and when Gallup comes back healthy, I think Dak is the better option, because no matter what, and I said this last year. Remember I said this last year? I even think Hurts would be the starter this year. I don't think he's their long-term guy. He doesn't, play exceptionally well, and the team isn't winning games. I think you're going to see a different quarterback in Philly midway through the year. So we'll see how it begins. And I don't want to give too much away from our games, but I think the Lions are going to beat them. I really do. I think the Lions are going to beat them week 1. The head coach there has that team pumped. They got a bunch of new weapons in there, and it's in Detroit. I think the fans are going to be pumped, same type of thing. And I do think they're going to beat them. So you see Philly squander a little, and he doesn't play exceptionally, they could pull the plug on him. I don't think that'll ever happen with Dak. Jerry Jones is not going to pull Dak Prescott for, some scrub. Ben DiNucci's not even there anymore. So I'm going to go with Dak, even though I want to say Hurts, but Dak is definitely safer. There's no way he's not the quarterback for the entire season unless he gets hurt, which I don't think he will.
All right. Spencer with the long one here. All right. I'm going after Michael Pittman and A.J. Dillon. Which 3 do I send? T-Law, Singletary, Gordon, Baker, Garrett Wilson, Sky Moore, Albert O, Mariota, Rashad White, PPR flex. He only has Dak and Daniel Jones at quarterback, so I was thinking about a quarterback, a running back, and a wide receiver. Mind you, I plan on scooping a quarterback on waivers that is rookie backup right now. Oh, guess is gone. Oh, there he is.
Oh, all right. Spencer, I answered this. Any of those guys that you mentioned, any of them, any 2 of them, any 3 of them, as long as it includes just one QB, do it. I don't think the guy does it, but if you can get Pittman and A.J. Dillon and you could give up, I would try Mariota first because I do think he's going to do well, but they do have the rookie. And the first sign of Mariota not doing well, they'll put the rookie in. T-Law's not going anywhere. No. So you hold on to him. You take Mariota. You throw Melvin Gordon in there for some name value. Maybe this guy thinks Melvin Gordon's still sliced bread. And I don't know. Give him Sky Moore. There you go. Mariota, Sky Moore, Gordon. Throw it in his face. See if he does it. Would I? No. But if you seem to think somebody has it within their soul to accept, from the sounds of it, Rob was telling me, I didn't see your comment, but it's a truck driver or something, your brother-in-law, and he wants to wheel and deal. If he wants to wheel and deal and he wants to trade these two guys and he needs a quarterback, then you say, okay, Marcus Mariota, and you could have Gordon, and you could have Sky Moore, and see what he says. If he says no, then you swap out Sky Moore and maybe you throw Garrett Wilson in, or you swap him out and maybe you throw Singletary in there. I don't know, but any of those three guys, as long as you're only giving one quarterback because it's a super flex, and you take the other two guys and you go to sleep and you snore and you dream beautiful dreams.
Just let your soul glow.
So all right. You should have sang the intro.
All right, I'm going to jump into the game because those are the questions that we had previously. Yep. We'll jump into the next questions from here. Yep. Buffalo Bills at the Los Angeles Rams, Thursday night football. We are here. We are live in effect. It's going to be a dome, obviously. But, all right, Bills, let's start with them. Josh Allen, they're talking about is going to have a miraculous season. A lot of people high on Diggs and Gabe Davis. McKenzie is all over the place, man. I am seeing this guy climb draft charts like I've never seen before.
Yeah.
Let's talk about who do we think is going to be successful from those guys with Josh Allen, obviously, throwing to him. And then from the running standpoint, you said there's three guys. Am I even starting a Singletary this week? I know you mentioned it based off of the other guy, was Raheem Mostert, but do I take a chance if I have a better option? On the flip side, Matt Stafford, a little banged up. They're saying that he has a hurt arm, but he's going to play through it and stuff like that. Obviously, Kupp coming off of master season. I know I'm high on Allen Robinson. What do you think about the wide receiver situation? And talk about the running backs as well.
Yeah, I like I said, I think the Bills sneak this one out. 26-23 is my final. It's going under, and the underdogs are winning. I think Josh Allen will do pretty well. I think that, they'll get after him. The Rams have a great defensive line, and that's why I kind of like Singletary in this one. If you have to use him, maybe you play in a large amount of team league, or maybe you just got a really big rosters. Like I'm in a league that has, God, I don't even know. It's a dynasty league. It's got 3 wide receivers, 2 running backs, 2 tight ends, and it's got 2 flexes, and it's got another super flex. So it's pretty big. And then the bench is huge too. So I'm like even rostering guys who are like I have Tyler Huntley on my
just
bench.
In case, you never know.
Because I picked him up last year. It's a dynasty, so he's there. And he could end up going somewhere next year, but that's besides the point. But so like if that's the case, a large league or large benches, and somehow you wind up with Singletary and he's your RB2 or your flex, should be fine. But the problem is they're going to use Moss. They're going to use, what's his face? Oh, I can't think of his name. The rookie, James Cook. I wanted to say James Brown. I'm like, his name is not James Brown. James Cook. So they're going to use him. Cook is third. And I told everybody that. Remember, I'm on a tangent here because this is why you watch Answers by Guess. I was telling people in our first preseason show, I said, everybody's going after Breece Hall, drafting him way too high. Everybody's going after Walker. Everybody loves James Cook right now. I said, you go get yourself some Dameon Pierce. And I said, Tyler Algier. Now, he hasn't gotten the beautiful bounties of the world yet, but he could, and Pierce sure has. And nobody drafted back when I said that. So it was too late after I said that. But if you did draft before, a couple weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, you could have gotten Pierce pretty late. And so, like, that's the thing. So Cook, people were sky high on Cook. Singletary won the job. Singletary didn't play the preseason game at the end. He's a starter, so whatever, he's fine. Now what's happening with McKenzie, you mentioned it, but what about your boy, Rob? You've been talking up Jamison Crowder. I don't understand. Now, McKenzie's been fine. And he was okay. He sort of emerged a little bit last year, towards the end of the year, here and there. But the thing is, why are they so high on him? That's what I'm wondering. He's a little banged up, too. I don't understand why the love. I think he's going to split time in this game with Crowder. Going against the Rams defense, they're going to use a little bit more of a crafty veteran. Would not be surprised that because of the injury as well to McKenzie, if Crowder outsnaps him. They're going to use Knox. They got another tight end in there as well, but Knox is obviously the one you want to own. But it's Gabe Davis and Diggs. Those are the only two I would bona fide. You throw them in your lineup. You got them on your team. They should be in your lineup for this one. Knox as well as if you waited, but I got a feeling he comes down to earth a little bit from last year. Flip side, Rams got another one of your boys that you loved up. Allen Robinson. No Van Jefferson, so this should be a big game for him. So we'll see. So I love the Allen Robinson play in this one. Nobody here is going to ever tell you to put Cooper Kupp in your lineup. And I would stay the heck away from the running backs. And this is what sort of swayed me when I was thinking about this game. Like, the Bills going to win, the Rams going to win, the Bills going to win. I'm not at all scared of Cam Akers, Henderson, Jake Funk as much as I am the Bills ones. I feel like they could just do more. And I love Akers. But I don't know, they're going to play them all. Henderson's playing, according to McVay. So I think it's Allen Robinson, Kupp, and Diggs, and Gabe Davis is all that you really should have anywhere near your lineup in this one, and not even Higbee.
Man. I mean, from my perspective, I think Crowder is going to become the new Beasley.
That's the thing. I think people want McKenzie to be the new Beasley, and I don't know if that's what's going to happen. I think that he's being overdrafted. We'll see, but
so how Dawson Knox had that, the red zone targets and stuff like that. That could be your Crowder, just because of how his hands are. Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's where you look for him. All right, let's go back into the questions here. Jeremy, I know I drafted weird in ABG, same running back core I had last year, lacking a receiver core and 2 tight ends. I just think I helped myself with mostly late buys and more options than starters.
Stay the course.
Oh, yeah. All right, McLaurin, Sutton, Davis, Tony, Wandale. Start 2, and would you start a third one over Chubb in a flex?
I hate Jacoby Brissett, but how do you bench Chubb? Like, the Panthers defense was pretty good last year. I tell you what, and again, give it a little bit too much away, but this is what we do on the midweek shows, the halftime adjustment shows. Anyways, I give a little bit of sneak peek into our game views. Yeah. Without a doubt, if I were to ask everybody in the room, who's going to win, Browns or Panthers? 80% are going to say what?
Panthers.
Yeah, without a doubt. They're at home. Baker revenge. The line is 2.5 points, and it actually just dropped 0.5 points. Now they're -2. That tells me Vegas is saying, take the Panthers. They know something. And I don't know what they know, but it's just weird. The Panthers should be 8-point favorites in this game. 8, not 2. They're at home. Anything less than 5 is an atrocity. I don't even understand. So it's just weird. So because of that, I think you have to play Chubb in the flex because Jacoby Brissett, to what? David Bell or Cooper? I mean, people DPJ. I mean, it's just like gross. The Browns went from so gosh darn sexy to like, bleh. Like I didn't even want to touch them anymore. I skipped over Chubb as much as possible. Nobody loves Chubb more than me.
Oh, that's what she said. Sorry, go ahead.
So, but I think you got to play Chubb. But then that means that I got to sit Davis or McLaurin. And I don't think I can sit McLaurin or Sutton. So I'm going to go McLaurin, Sutton, Chubb. But Davis is a tough sit for me, but I'm going to do it.
Yeah, I would probably be in the same boat. I love Scary Terry. I can't bench that guy. I don't know why. All right. Stevenson, Rondell Moore, Olave, and Wandale. Start one.
I think you got to play Ramondre. He's going to be James White. I just have the feeling that everything Bill Belichick is saying about him and his route running and his catching ability, he is James White, and we know what James White could do. And Ramondre is the young, big James White, still fast. So I think you got to go him. But my number 2 choice would be Olave. If it's not Wandale, it's going to be the best wide receiver rookie. It's going to be Olave this year.
All right. Next one here. Would you start any of these over Ayuk?
Against the Bears, right?
Ayuk is playing the Bears. Bears are home.
If I started any over the Bears, it would be Olave because they're going against the Falcons, and I'm not sold on Michael Thomas being Michael Thomas yet.
Keyword. All right. I already did that one. A.J. Dillon or Breece Hall this week? Packers are at Vikings. Ravens are at Jets. Sorry, Jets are home against the Ravens.
Yeah. I think I'm just going to go Dillon. I'm just going to play it safe. I'm just going to watch it. Carter is still the starter. You know.
If you miss out on Breece Hall, like Guess was saying in his opening thoughts, don't overreact. It was not a mistake. You got to go A.J. Dillon because, I mean, even the Packers head coach was saying they're 1A between him and Aaron Jones. Right. Breece Hall, you don't know if he's going to get 20%, right. 30%, 10%. Does he see the field? I mean, it's just too much of a guess where A.J. Dillon has a role.
Right. Now, the only thing you could have in this is the Ravens blow them out. And you say, oh, Breece Hall, you're going to keep dumping off. Michael Carter can catch passes too. So it's not – they're both splitting. But as Rob just said, with Dillon and Jones, it's 50-50. With Hall and Carter, you don't know if it's 80-20.
What's crazy is that I really think Breece Hall was drafted so that the Jets can be like the Broncos with Javonte and Melvin Gordon. Just Breece Hall, obviously bigger, but they both can catch the ball out the backfield. They both can block. Those are things that, again, at least that's what I'm hoping for. And, I mean, we'll see Javonte, I think, take a leap this year, and that could be your Breece Hall a year from now. All right. Juju, Montgomery, Thielen, Tony, or Damian Harris, Robert Woods in the flex.
It's like a list of players that I had on my do not draft list. Everybody loves Juju. I don't feel it. Montgomery against the Niners, when they don't even like Montgomery, I feel like the new coaching regime. Thielen, I've shared my thoughts on him. How healthy is Tony? I'd probably go Harris. I'm not feeling Robert Woods either. I don't know how healthy he is.
For me, I'm probably going Juju and taking the risk week 1. He could be Sammy Watkins, have 3 touchdowns. He's going to have a miraculous comeback and so on and so forth, and then disappear after that.
Great call.
So I think I'm going to go Juju in this one. But Damian Harris would not be a bad call just because that he's the 1-2 to your Stevenson 3. All right. Leanna. Always, guys, remember, like, share, and comment. We do appreciate you. Robert, your CPA. I'm going for my CPA. I start studying. I applied for the first test in the next year and a half of my life, plus family stuff, as well as working 2 full-time jobs. It's going to be fun. It's going to be interesting. Unfortunately, fantasy football is going to be not put to the side, but have to be able to take care of these other things first. All right. Good. Ready for the season to start so I can kill it in fantasy. I heard somebody helped you with your draft. I don't want to, point any fingers this way or anything like that, but she has a pretty solid team.
Very nice.
All right. Can we submit questions for Sunday's show via the group page and watch later like previous seasons? You won't be able to answer questions via ABG League chat unless on Patreon.
Well, submit questions for Sunday's show on the group page. Yes, of course, just like tonight. People posted questions yesterday and today. Once we put out a thing that says, going live Tuesday night, 9 p.m., every question from that point forward is pretty much going to go on the show. So, like, that's if you don't know, now you know, homie. So that's how it's going to go. So it's like Saturday rolls around, and I'm like 11 a.m. Sunday morning live for your questions. From that point on Saturday until Sunday, when we go live, every question gets posted on the page. We'll pretty much say what we did. We'll answer this on the show. And anybody else can, Jim, Peter, Paul, Tom, or Mary, can go on there and be like, hey, I like this, I like that. And that's what we want. We want your opinions. We want people to chime in. But if you want us to answer a question and it falls within us posting that we're going to go live at this day and time in the show, it's going to get answered on the show. Now, the ABG League chat, the PM that we have, that's pretty much just for, as far as I'm concerned, you guys could use it forever, whatever you want. And I know that you and Braden were going back and forth with your draft, Jeremy, and that's all good. That's fine. But for me, it's pretty much just so that I could be like, hey, do we want to vote on this for the league? Do we want to add this position? When are you going to pay me my money? Where do I send your winnings? Questions like that. That's what the league chat is for me. It's not for me to answer questions or Rob to answer questions, but you could ask them. Everybody else could answer them. But when I'm talking about PM, I'm talking about somebody sending answers by guest or any of our personal Facebooks, a PM being like, hey, should I start Jimbo or Jamie in the PM? Like, it gets lost. And we're just not going to do that unless we know that somebody is subscribing to the Patreon. Then we'll take the time out because we got a ton of things going on. But if you post a question, should I start Jimbo or Jamie to the group page? And if we don't see it because we're busy, at least you got now close to 300 people that'll see it. It should be 3,000 as far as I'm concerned, but it's 300 and they'll at least see it. So you post a question to the page. And if you have a question that you want answered on the show so that you can watch it later, if it falls in between the time of us saying, boom, we're going to be live here, and when we do live, then yes, it will be answered on the show.
Excellent.
Did that answer it?
Yeah, and I would say if you could try to, you're going against league mates to ask questions against that same league. I'm not sure you're going to get the most proper answers, to be honest with you. Yeah. Just putting it out there. All right. Thoughts on Parker in New England? A better look than Claypool or Lazard? I'm thinking no. New team, week 1 is uncertain.
Well, Lazard's probably not going to be playing, so he's definitely going to be better than Lazard. He's probably not going to play. I really like Claypool this week, especially because, they're playing against the Bengals, and I feel like the Bengals will be able to put up points. So they're going to need Claypool. I like Trubisky as a quarterback. I've said it since day one. I had wished RIP that it was Dwayne Haskins. But, unfortunately, it is Trubisky, and I think he's going to be just fine. And I said that I like Claypool this year. Parker in New England, I like him. But I do think that because of the high-powered offense that the Dolphins are going to put out there with Turbojet, Waddle and turbojet Tyreek, I think New England's going to try and take the air out of the ball as much as possible. We've seen them do it in the snow, 3 passes for Mac Jones. And they got other weapons that are, maybe not as good as Parker to throw the ball to, a couple tight ends, a couple other little wide receivers. But I think they utilize the 2 running backs and try and keep the Miami offense off the field as much as possible. I'm going to go with Claypool.
I'm going to agree. Claypool would be my option. I think it's just a better matchup, too. I know they're going against the Bengals. Bengals defense is better. But like he just said, Mac Jones isn't throwing the ball. They're going to be running it a lot. So, all right. Next one here. Better tight end start, Hawk or Gesicki?
I'm going Hockenson because playing against the Eagles, and I think Detroit wins this game. The Eagles are never good against a tight end. And with the new Miami offense, they're going to use Gesicki more to block, or so they say. So that's why we're going to use week 1 to look, to learn, to react. Not overreact, but just put something in our brain. Say, okay, they were telling the truth. Or, okay, you sneaky devils, you weren't. But I'm going to go with Hockenson because he's safer.
All right. Phew. Good. Need Dak for fantasy. Sorry.
Yeah, he's got a safe job. That was in
Jalen Hurts, Dak. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, Marty, with the question here: 0.5 PPR flex, Rashad Penny or Allen Robinson?
I love Penny, but I don't love Geno Smith. And until they put Drew Lock in, I can't trust anybody on that team, including DK Metcalf. And you have to play Allen Robinson. You got to get. But here's what you do, Marty, and I hope you're still watching. And I know, Rob, you want to say it?
Nope, you go for it.
No,
I was thinking the same thing as well.
Rob, say it.
You don't start Allen Robinson in your flex. You start him as a wide receiver because it gives you the option to be able to shift if you need to for that flex spot.
Right. You got 2 or 3 wide receivers already in the wide receiver spot. You take one of them out, you put them in the flex, you put Allen Robinson in the wide receiver. Because who knows? Who knows what happens? Somebody stubs a toe Saturday morning and they don't play. Well, now you don't have any wide receivers on your bench, but you could have had them in your flex. So you could have played a running back in that spot or a tight end. So you play Allen Robinson, a wide receiver. You move the wide receiver you had starting to your flex. You sleep like a baby. I love Penny. I've been waiting years for his breakout that he did last year. Just don't like Geno Smith or anything about him. So against the Broncos, I can't trust it.
As a Jets fan, I'm going to say the same thing.
Can't trust it against the Broncos.
Hey, what's going on, Antonio? Smith-Schuster, Woods, Patterson, A.J. Brown need 3.
Okay, I'm going A.J. Brown without a doubt. I'm not feeling Cordarrelle, man. He fell off like we thought he would. If Woods is healthy enough, I haven't looked. Maybe you could shoot that up real quick, Rob. Robert Woods, what's he looking like? Is his status good to go? Is he 95%? Because, I mean, it's week 1, so Patterson's old legs are pretty fresh.
It says Robert Woods will make his Titans debut in week 1 against the Giants, and he's expected to settle in as a top target for quarterback Ryan Tannehill. All
right, so let's go with Woods, A.J. Brown, and then flip a coin on Patterson or Schuster. They might need to score to keep up with the Saints. So maybe Patterson's your better play. But it's going to be a little different because it's Mariota. It's not Matt Ryan. It's not Statue Matt. And Mariota is going to run the ball in if they're close. They're not going to need Cordarrelle to do those things. They have Tyler Algier and the rookie, and he's big and fast, and he could punch it in. And they've got a couple extra receiving options that they didn't have last year. I don't even know some of the junk they were messing around with last year, but they got Drake London, right? They got Kyle Pitts another year under his belt. They got Brian Edwards. So it's not going to have to be the Patterson show. Rob recommended Smith-Schuster earlier. I say flip a coin. I don't like really either one of them, but you're playing Woods, you're playing A.J. Brown, and the third choice is up to you two.
Yeah, I mean, I just Juju, I think, is going to be the Sammy Watkins. I mean, you see Sammy Watkins come in, have miraculous games week 1, week 2, and then fall off the face of the earth. So that's kind of what I'm thinking. The same concept over with Schuster now. Oh, all right. How bad is it going to kill me going running back zero strategy in ABG League? My strategy totally changed when Jefferson was there when I picked that 12, as I wasn't expecting him to be there at all. I've got Josh Allen and Jefferson, Adams, and Waddle at wide receiver, but my running backs are Gibson and Sanders and Damian Harris. If Robinson returns and takes Gibson's job again, which he probably will, I'm probably in trouble.
I think you're good with Gibson for now. Sanders worries me, and I think Harris is going to be used this week. To me, Stevenson is much more desirable, but he's not the RB1. He's the James White. In my opinion, that's what it's going to be. And if anything, it's a 50-50. Miles Sanders, I mean, they just added Trey Sermon. Like, how many running backs can you roster? Boston Scott, Smallwood, Sanders, Trey Sermon. They probably have 3 other guys.
You know who else they added? I thought I saw recently too. Hold on a sec. The Michael Pirine from the Jets got added to Philly as well.
You're okay, but you're going to want to hit the wire. I know it's the ABG league, and you're against both of us. There's probably not much out there, but you're in the right place. Not for nothing, a lot of times, like last season especially, was the only year we had the ABG league and did the show. So last year is the only example, but I gave recommendations and didn't go out and pick up the player or didn't even attempt to. But other people did. So, if we come up with something, stay tuned. Michael, I know you're usually watching with us and up to date and everything we're doing and saying. I think it'll be all right. I think you have Gibson for now, and Damian Harris is viable, especially this week. I think they're going to lean on him. So you go with those 2 this week, and you just see what shakes out in Philly. And then you play the wire. Nothing else. Your wide receivers are sick, so.
And you got to think about it. If you're pick 12, that means you're third on the waiver wire. So you would have access to somebody that explodes week 1 for a running back situation. Yeah. You're definitely in a good spot, at least there.
Yeah. Keep an eye out for the guys that we talked about. Like Abdullah might be available. I do think that he's going to probably play, hopefully, that James White type of role. I do think eventually Zamir White is probably going to overtake Jacobs. Wouldn't be surprised if they traded Jacobs. If they don't trade him, they're going to run him into the ground, as I mentioned a couple weeks ago on our show. So it's going to be one or the other. But I do think Abdullah is going to sort of be that kind of guy. And you say, well, Brandon Bolden's there. Well, Brandon Bolden's a special teams guy. He's like Josh McDaniels' best friend. I think they went to high school together. I'm joking. But Amir Abdullah, I think, is the surprise. So if he's out there and you want a little PPR guy that could do it, and keep an eye on Demetric Felton, too. Listen, you're a Browns fan. I just talked about how gross their wide receivers are. I think he's going to line up a ton in the slot. I'm telling you right now. They have him as the 4th running back on the team. He's going to line up in the slot. He's going to be your Jarvis Landry. And he's a speedy, shifty dude. And he's got running back eligibility because that's where he's listed on the depth chart. So there's 2 names for you, Michael. Throw them on your watch list to see if you can do something with it.
I'll add one more. Chuba Hubbard. I know he's 3rd over there. CMC's back. They're not going to try to burn CMC to the ground. Donta Foreman's going to be your big back that's going to get goal line. There may be some love for Chuba there too. Is it going to be right off the bat? Maybe not, but he's somebody that I know I have on my watch list.
And never forget Kene Nwangwu.
Veto. I don't know what he's vetoing, but
probably Spencer's trade. But if you're in a league that is insta trades, there's no such thing as a veto.
True.
Because you say, hey, you want this? And the guy says, I want that. And it's done. And it's a beautiful thing.
My fantasy running backs have a lot of pop. Taylor and Swift. I like that one, Dave. That's
I like that. Pardon the pun. You are the pun master. The name is Dave, but you do remind me, good friend Dave Craig, of David Letterman. He does top 10 lists. Dave Craig's good at those top 10 lists. He's got that.
Ooh, I would like to hear those one day.
Maybe you should come on here with a top 10 something. You'll come up with it better than I would.
All right. Spencer, I was thinking Mariota and Garrett Wilson for Pittman. I figure Moore is tied to Mahomes, so maybe not giving him up.
Do it.
Yeah, if the guy's willing to accept that, I would do. Yeah, send it over, man.
Yep.
Michael says no way. He thinks the Browns are going to win.
So does Vegas. I'm telling you right now, something's fishy in that one. Unless it's a reverse, where they put the line like that and like, we're going to trick people and bet these stupid Browns. I don't know. I just don't see a way the Browns win. But I don't know. I just want Baker to do well. I love him.
Reverse psychology for the reverse psychologist.
Yeah.
Guys, remember, like, share, comment. I know I've said that quite a few times today, but we have quite a few likes, and we definitely appreciate you guys.
Yeah.
All right. Alan, yeah, probably going to happen. Oh, that's what the veto is going to come for. There it is.
Yeah.
All right. Running backs are Taylor and Williams. Wide receivers are Pittman and Waddle. Is Metcalf a good flex, or should Jacobs be better?
Gosh.
Oh, and I can flex Stevenson, too.
Oh, you flex Stevenson.
Yeah, I would probably flex Stevenson, too, man.
Yep.
Leanne is laughing. All right. I missed the answer to this one. McLaurin, Sutton, Gabe Davis. Start McLaurin and Sutton. Yeah, I think that's what we had said.
I would.
All right. Alan, would you rather have Dobbs or Sky Moore on your bench? Ooh, I like that question.
I feel like I kind of answered this with you, Alan, but I'm kind of glad you're asking it again because the feelings change. And I don't know what I said before, but I'm not huge on Sky Moore. I'm not. I mean, yeah, he fits the mold, right? But I mean, like, how many of the same type of guy can you have? Juju, MVS, Nicole Hardman, Sky Moore. Like, all they are is like, the play in Madden. I think it's Hail Mary, where it's just your X, your circle, your square, and your triangle. All they do is go up. Like, that's like Kansas City's 4 wide receivers. Like, that's all you got to do is just shoot them all up, and whoever wins the race, throw it to them. Like, that's how they should play, because the 4 wide receivers that they have, that's pretty much what they do. And I just think Randall Cobb, I love him, Green Bay Packer fan. I think he's on his last legs. Lazard is not playing more than likely this week, and that could be good things for Romeo. So I probably would put Romeo on the bench and just see what happens, because Sammy Watkins is made of glass. However, if he can stay healthy, I think he'll have his best season ever with Rodgers, but he's made of glass. Lazard's already hurt. Cobb is falling apart. Watson was hurt, the rookie. So it's just like, I'd probably rather have Dobbs.
All right. Darko watching us from YouTube.
Cool.
Dobbs, Sutton, A-Rob, Chubb, bench 2.
I'm going to bench. I got to play A-Rob. I need some.
Unless it's Aaron. Maybe Aaron Jones? No, maybe A-Rob.
I think it's A-Rob. I don't know.
A-Rob.
A-Rob. I got to go with him. I got to have the Thursday action. No Van Jefferson playing against the Bills. Opening night. I need it. I need a fix. Like, there's a couple leagues I'm in where I don't have any Rams and don't have Bills, and I'm just sort of depressed. It's kind of gross. It's kind of sick, but it's true. And
I'm probably going Sutton and A-Rob. I know how do you bench Chubb, but
I like the Sutton, but here's what's going to happen, right? If we get confirmed that Lazard is not playing, I might go Dobbs. Because they're playing the Vikings. And the Vikings, we just talked about, they're going to be high powered. They're going to want to throw the ball. I know Green Bay's got amazing defense. They played amazing last year. I think they got even better. But he's like the sneaky play. And week 1 is always the time where sometimes you could get sneaky and it'll work, or you get sneaky and it'll screw you. Because we're learning. Sutton is a safer play. Dubs if you want to get sexy, and only if Lazard is out. But the problem with Sutton is my boy Javante's going to tear it up, and I don't think Geno Smith is going to be able to do too much. So they'll just run, 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 and we won't need Sutton that much. So that's why I'm kind of going a little towards Dubs, which is making me look at Allen's question now and saying, maybe I go McLaurin and Gabe Davis and I get a little Thursday action.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
No, yeah, I like what you're putting out there.
Because I'm thinking about Monday night, right? And I'm like, Geno Smith against the Broncos. Like, what are you gonna do? What are you going to do?
Revenge game. We always talk about revenge games.
Oh, yeah, Russell. Yeah.
Russell going back to Seattle. I think he's gonna light him up. Remember, Denver was my choice for the Super Bowl this year.
And that's the thing that we often forget when we talk about gameplay and how it's going to unfold. You got to remember they got to get the big lead, right? You can't just go in a game and be like, "Oh, the other team sucks. We're just going to walk out here and win." No, you have to actually like get up by a lot of points so that you can just strut your stuff on the sideline.
We're going to win.
So somebody's got to help them get to that point. And I think that Sutton is the guy. I think it's Sutton and Judy. I don't think anybody else is really worth a damn as far as the receiving goes for that team. I'm sorry, not buying into it. And I'm not buying into Albert O. I liked Albert O a couple years ago because of his relationship with Drew Lock. But maybe I'll be wrong. But I do think, Sutton, you could have a Monday night magic, you could have a Thursday night magic, Allen. And Darko, at least you have until Sunday to figure it out. You want to go safe, you go Sutton. You want to go sexy, you go Dubs. But you're playing A-Rob on Thursday.
All right, Marty. Thanks, Guess and Rob. I'm loving Robinson as the weeks have passed, although these pundits have Penny projected higher.
Pundits.
I'll make a switch to wide receiver and play CD in the flex. Good move. Yep, CD's the night game on Sunday. You never know.
Yeah.
I like it. I like it a lot.
I like it.
All right, guess.
We're getting pretty damn good at this because it's like 1 hour. And if you remember back a week or so ago, when we did the other show, 2 weeks, it was like 1 hour when we like wrapped up. And that's where we're at.
The hour mark. That's the way to go. I think that gives everybody the opportunity. It gives them to watch it back again, get all this good information. But guys, always look, #answers by guests. Remember to always like us on Facebook, YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, and Patreon. Guess, any final thoughts, man?
I've been slacking on the TikTok. I'm going to do a bunch of random nonsense with that. A couple things here, a couple things there. I did one, but I'm gonna do tidbit things so that it's not just the live shows. Extra little things. This year of switch ups, the year of change. We're evolving. I'm excited for not only that, man. I'm excited for football. I cannot wait for Thursday night. It could be the Giants versus, God, who's another team I hate? It could be the Giants versus the 49ers, and I would pop some corn. I'd be ready. It's just we waited too long. We waited too long.
By the way, have you heard the It's Corn song?
I have not.
Okay, I will be sending you something soon. I may post it. Let's see. You can only take an hour of me. I hear you, Jeremy. That's pretty funny. And week 1, chicken wings and White Claws.
That was last year, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't think we're going to be able to get together this year.
No, but I will make sure to make it a point to try to get there before one of these weeks. Maybe we'll do a live show and try to make it work. Alan, don't hate on his Giants.
Now, let me explain this, Alan. And Rob, I'm going to talk about your heart as well here. I hate the Giants because I live in New York. And Giant fans, and I'm not talking about you. We love you, Alan. Giant fans, I'm a school teacher, and they are abundant whenever the Giants are doing well, and they don't close their mouths. When the Giants stink, it's like roaches when you turn on the lights. Right? They scurry, they hide under rocks. And I gotta say, I'm gonna piss a couple people off. Rob, probably Leanna as well. That's kind of why I don't like the Yankees, and I'm anti-Yankees. It's the Yankee fans.
I think I'm the fucking best. Oh, I think I'm the best, man.
Like I got a lot of Yankee fans. I don't hate Yankee fans, but they're just when the Yankees are doing good, it's like, gosh, stop telling me about 27 championships when 23 of them happened before 1970. Yeah, I said it. But when
so we're just going to end this broadcast right
Well,
now. This has been a wonderful time.
Well, when they stink, no one's around to talk. And you know what? I got Yankee fans that say the same thing about Mets fans, which is funny because like, oh, the Mets are doing good and they won't shut their mouths. But then the Mets lose and they're like, oh, you can't find a Met fan. And I just want to say to them, Lou Massey's one of them. Yeah, I said a name. And like, he's like, oh, the Mets fans, they went and hit under the rocks last night. And I want to be like, Lou, you do the same thing when the Yankees stink. No. So it's kind of like, it's just, I don't like any New York teams. And I feel like that's kind of why. Because I'm just so sick of hearing, I don't know. That's all I can understand of it. But I tell you one thing. This year's Yankees and the Yankees the past couple of years, I don't dislike them as much as I did growing up. Paul O'Neill, Tino Martinez, and this is probably gonna make everybody's hearts melt again. But it's just like God. And I grew up in a house, my mother was big Yankee fans and uncles and all that. And it was just like, you people are grossly out, but whatever. And the Giants were the same sort of way. Like I don't hate Daniel Jones. It was Eli Manning. It's just like I couldn't look at him.
Hatred for Eli Manning.
It's like I couldn't look at him, and it was just like I don't know. I'm going on tangents here, making people hate me, but it's just the way it is. But I don't hate them. It's just I don't know.
All right, Leanna, she hates the Giants too. She's actually a Philadelphia Eagles fan. All right, Alan, I'm in Orange County. So is Guess. I grew up in Rockland though.
I grew up in Syracuse.
All right, he's in Florida, and everyone's a Bucks fan now. Yeah, ever since Brady moved over. And Guess you are fired, sir.
All right, goodbye.
And she agrees with your Eli Manning. Ugh.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just it is what it is. And if I was just trying to pick two sports teams, I can't say 49ers and Giants. They would be the top two. And if it was baseball, it'd be the Yankees and the Astros. I can't see any Astros banging on the trash cans and all that.
Yeah, I hate the Astros too. I'm still trying to convert Nick to a Knicks fan.
You know what? I might be because I'm a Lakers fan. Growing up, everybody liked Michael Jordan. I liked Magic Johnson, and then they got Shaq and Kobe, and of course I stuck with them. And LeBron, I can't stand LeBron, and I just he signed on for a couple more years, so I need a new team. And I don't know who it's going to be.
Come to the Knicks side. Come to the dark side.
I'm looking. So if anybody's hiring me.
All right, Eagles fly. You stop that, Leanna. Eli greater than Brady.
It's so funny because I liked him at Ole Miss for whatever reason. That was like a period in time where I actually could stomach watching college football, and I liked Eli Manning at Ole Miss. And I like Eli Manning's personality. He's funny as hell.
Yes.
But for some reason, I could not stand those teams of the Giants. I didn't mind the Phil Simms ones growing up. The Jeff Hostetler. Didn't mind those for whatever reason. But whatever.
Luka Magic. I wouldn't be so Dallas. Well, it's technically the Dallas Knicks if you think about it too, because they just tend to take all of our players. But I think we're going to end here, guys. Like, share, comment. Thank you always for participating and being with us. Answers by Guess. Guess, what you got?
I go on tangents. I'm sorry. Watch the recorded videos. They'll be posted at some point on Saturday. Come to us Sunday morning with questions. Good luck.
All right, guys.
Enjoy the game.
All right. Answers by Guess. Pieces. That was pieces, deuces, and piece together.